Welcome one and all, Nyanko here, and today I am going to be talking about a new show that I just watched called Assassination Classroom. Now, this is a few years old now. I think they animated it in like 2015 through to like 2016. Yeah, but if you haven't heard of Assassination Classroom, it is a show where basically the moon gets blown up and then suddenly this classroom of kids, 3E, is introduced to this new teacher, and they're told that this new teacher, Kara-sensei, blew up the moon and that he will blow up the earth in a year's time if they don't assassinate him. And then the story revolves around all of this class of kids trying to kill their teacher while also like relearning the love for like studying and finding what they want to do in life. It was actually really good. You know, it's very comedic and they break the fourth wall quite a bit in places, and they have references to other animes in it as well. But I found it really compelling because sometimes we all fall out of love with something and we need either someone or something special that like brings our love back or like reignites our interest. So like I found that with Kara-sensei, because I mean everyone can kind of relate to like falling out of love with studying or having a teacher that was crap and you absolutely despised them and they made learning like a nightmare for you. And then we've all had that teacher who was really interesting, really passionate, knew how to tailor his teaching techniques for each individual person in the classroom. And that's what I really liked about Kara-sensei and about Assassination Classroom, was even though they were like raising these kids to be like killers, they really were just raising them for how to deal with life. And that was like Kara-sensei's whole deal. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna make you all very rounded, good individuals who can, you know, deal with the world around them and who are gonna go far in life, kind of thing. And now, I mean, again, it is about like the subject of it is about like assassinating someone. So if that's not really your deal or you're not very into that kind of thing, I would understand if you wanted to give it a miss. But I found it really interesting. I really liked Kurosama-sensei. Mr. Kurosama, I mean, look at this man. He's so hot. I love him. But at the same time, I loved Kara-sensei. I thought he was really cool. And I kind of fell in love with his personality and his heart. And I was like, oh, come here, you big octopus. And then there's Irina sensei, or Miss Bitch, as they call her. She's really cool. I liked her. And then I also liked how she kind of turned against them as well. Very assassiny, you know, I'm in it for myself. But then every character grew. And that's what I really liked about the show. You had the young ones growing, but while the young ones were growing, the adults were also growing too. And there was twists and turns along the way, and you find out stuff about, like, it's season 2 when Kara-sensei's backstory comes out, but, you know, it's enough that, like, season 1 keeps you hooked, and then you go into season 2 going, oh no, the deadline's coming up. And I have to admit, I cried. Like, big, ugly tears. I was so invested in it, and then, like, the end of season 2 came around, and I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, no, don't let Sensei die, no, save him! Because they do, like, as the story progresses, they go from wanting to kill him to wanting to save him, and then they're given really no choice towards the end of season 2. They have to do it, which I find really sad, that people were so afraid of Kara-sensei. They couldn't see the great advantage of having him around. You know, he can move at Mach 20 speed. He's super smart. He's very intelligent. He's actually very easy to get along with. He just, you know, wants to teach or look at dirty magazines or eat sweets. Now, we can all agree that one of those things, we all have a passion for something that, you know, gets us out of bed in the morning. So it could be eating sweets. It could be, if you're into that, dirty magazines. I mean, hell, it could even just be watching your favourite anime or, like, getting out of bed or keeping going so that you can read the next chapter of your favourite manga. You know? I find that Kara-sensei was a very simple octopus, and I absolutely loved him. The kids' characters as well were great. Nagisa had, like, home life problems that, like, you delve into throughout the show. You have Karma, who is, well, I mean, insane. Like, look at his face, he's insane. And he's a bit of a devil, and I absolutely adore him. He's, like, so cool. But again, his character goes through some major development, and then you have him and Nagisa's friendship, and you learn more about it, and then you also, like, see how their friendship evolves. It's the same with Kaide and all of the other characters in the show. Everyone gets some form of development or some form of screen time, and they all have, like, their own strengths and weaknesses, and that's, like, the main point of the show, is if you struggle and you have weaknesses, then find somebody, like a friend or a family member or somebody who can help you bolster that, because their weakness isn't necessarily the same as yours, and your weakness is their strength, so that they can help you with that and you can both grow together. I mean, I'd have to say the main villain in the show, this guy, President Asano. He's a complete douchebag, and you absolutely despise him in the beginning. He's horrible. His idea of teaching is basically, you have this, so basically the way their school works is 3E is the end class. They're the misfits, they're the ones who don't really have a future, they were unteachable, they have behavioural problems. So they get thrown into E class and just left there, while the other 4 classes stay in the main campus, and you're told, oh, you better study hard because you don't want to be like those E-class losers, kind of thing. And then I like how Koro-sensei starts changing the status quo in the school, because he starts taking on President Asano's, not President Asano's, like head teacher Asano's, like teaching philosophy. He's like, look what I've done with these kids, you know, and it starts becoming that E-class is less and less of a threat to the other classes because they do better, because it's shown that, like, Koro-sensei's teaching style is actually better than the head teacher's teaching style, because all the head teacher's teaching style does is drain you of your life and your interest and your passion, whereas Koro-sensei is like, here is a fire, I'm going to light it under your ass, get that passion ignited, go on, do it, you know, whether it's English, home ec, you know, classical Japanese, math, chemistry, science, you know. The way that Asano's principle works is everyone becomes like these little drones that are just like retain information, regurgitate the information on tests, whereas Koro-sensei, like, really makes you fall in love with the subjects. He's like, oh, you have a really good passion here, and isn't this interesting? And he makes things fun. And that's, you know, the two teaching styles are what are very common in today's society. So some people learn really, really well through the, like, memorize the textbook, regurgitate the textbook. That doesn't always work for other people. Other people definitely need the more fun approach, the more hands-on approach, so that it sinks in better. Now, I'm not dissing either one, but it's quite interesting how Koro-sensei is like, this doesn't work for everybody. This is why you have the end class. I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong. And their, like, rivalry throughout the 2 seasons is really good. But then the character development is really good as well, because you find out why Asano is the way he is. And that's quite touching and heartbreaking. And it also makes him become friendly with Koro-sensei. And towards the end, he's like, yo, you're my equal, kind of thing. We're chill, bro. But I will still try and kill you occasionally. And then you've also got, like, the mini Asano. So, like, his son, who becomes, like, Karma's arch rival, and he's like, my father is hiding something, I must take my father down. And you kind of learn, again, product of his raising, that he's not a bad person, he's just been raised by his father, who is absolutely adamant that this is the only way, and I will prove this, and I will make you surpass me, kind of thing. So I fell in love with all of the characters, to be honest. Some of them look utterly creepy, like these guys here. But again, they turn out to not be, you know, the worst people in the world. And it's very interesting how they end off when they all graduate at the end of season 2, is the big 5 who have been their big nemesises through all of, like, the tests are like, no, we got your back, yo. You know, we've graduated. This is a fresh start, kind of thing. But we're schoolmates, kind of thing. And, you know, we're not going to leave you behind, or we're not going to, like, throw you to the dogs because that would be dishonorable. And I was like, yes. You know, just because you're rivals when it comes to school and tests and stuff doesn't mean that you can't still be friends outside of school or even in school. Like, friendly rivalries between friends can really push you to do great things, which you see a lot as well. So like, Karma is really, really good in school and he gets a bit too cocky and it kind of bites him in the ass, whereas Nagisa really struggles in school but kind of becomes a natural assassin, which is the opposite of Karma. So Karma's really good in school, but he has to really work to be an assassin, whereas Nagisa has to really work in school, but doesn't seem to have to work too hard at being an assassin. And that's part of like their conflict and stuff, which is really cool. You've also got, you know, the silly romances, and you have your ships in it. And I have to admit, the sniper pair was one of my OTPs. I kind of shipped Kaide and Nagisa as well, but that doesn't really go anywhere, so I was a bit sad about that, even though we do get a kiss, so I was happy. I mean, the other OTP was Irina, and Karasuma, and that happened, so I was like, yay, but then I was also like, no, my baby, don't take him from me. I mean, there's a few, like, really heartbreaking moments along the way when you find out, like, Kaide's backstory and you find out Kara-sensei's backstory. Like, it does hurt a bit. I mean, a lot. I mean, the show broke me in ways I didn't think it could break me. When I went into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is just a silly show and it's funny and, you know, yes, there's serious moments, but, you know, lighthearted. I really enjoyed it. And then, like, you get into season 2 and it's just, like, emotional damage thrown at you everywhere. Like, left, right, top, bottom, just all of it comes at you and you're like, I'm not ready for this. Don't do this to my feels. So yeah, be warned, if you watch Assassination Classroom, and you get invested, and you're like me, you will A, cry till you're dehydrated, and B, you will take emotional damage. But if you're not as sensitive as me and you're a bit more like hardened to these kind of things, it's still a great show. It's a wild ride. You'll fall in love, you'll laugh, you'll be heartbroken, you'll cry if you're like me, or you'll get teary-eyed if you're like my friend who I watched it with. Now, my friend who I watched it with never cries at anything, and she's very, like, whatever. It is what it is. And was actually starting to tear up when we finished Assassination Classroom the other day. And I was like, damn, it can even make you tear up? Like, mad respect to the author there. And again, mad respect to the animation team for, like, staying truthful to the source material and not, like, messing around with it too much and editing out big chunks of it. That made it, like, super enjoyable too. I haven't actually read the manga for Assassination Classroom, but another friend of mine who has said that he was really impressed with how well they turned it into the anime adaptation and how, like, it did stay very true to what was in the manga. Now, I mean, you can't stay 100% true to what's in the manga when you turn it into, like, an anime series. You do have to pad things and you do have to, like, elongate them a bit, because I don't think, like, a 20-page chapter is going to make a full 20-minute episode sometimes. And sometimes you have, like, chapters cut and split together and things like that. But I might have to go out and read the manga now just to see if there's anything majorly different between the two. But, like, 100% recommend watching the anime. It's dubbed and subbed. I've only actually seen it in the dub because the friend I was watching with it, she's still a bit, like, she really enjoys reading, but she's not fast enough at reading to, like, keep up with subtitles sometimes. So usually when I watch like, anime with this friend in particular, we always watch the dub so that it's just a more enjoyable experience for her, and, you know, that's fair. However you enjoy watching your anime, at the end of the day, we're all big nerds and we all love, like, the creations in front of us, so it shouldn't matter if we enjoy it dubbed or subbed. And I never really got that war on dubs versus subs. It wasn't something that never really bothered me. However I prefer to enjoy my anime is my own personal preference, and it shouldn't be up to anybody else to decide if that's right or wrong. But no, like, kudos to the voice team in it. It was amazing. I will watch a couple of clips probably for the sub as well, just so that I can probably put, like, a little bubble here and be like, yeah, it was amazing too. But I mean, I don't think there's like, normally like the Japanese sub is, or sorry, the Japanese is an amazing cast, and they always like knock it out at the park. So I mean, do I really need to put a bubble there? We will see. That's up to future me's problem when I have to edit this video. I hate editing. Yeah, just FYI. I love doing the recording thing, and I love like interacting with you guys. Not so fond of the editing process. It's just, I find it a bit tedious. Maybe I need a Koro sensei to help me learn the love of editing. But yeah, definitely go watch it if you haven't. If you have watched it and, you know, you loved it as much as I did, then go and comment down below in the comment section, you know, let me know. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, let me know who your favourite character is. Let me know why. Tell me who your least favourite character was. Tell me why. You know, start a comment section. You know, debate. Let's chat. But other than that, my kittens, I'd have to just say, take care of yourselves. Remember to eat and drink something. You know, it's very important to take care of yourself, even if it is just a cookie. I'm going to give you much love, and I will see you in the next one. Au revoir!